There is no such thing as suffering. It's all in your mind. Your mind is bending under the weight of thoughts you feed it that were never truly yours. The fears you carry are passed down, and the doubt you feel is conditioned. But healing it? That is your responsibility. I'm sure you've heard it before. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. But no one teaches you how to manage that reaction, do they? No one tells you that your suffering doesn't begin with the event. It begins with what your mind says about it. When you lose a job, your mind whispers, "You weren't good enough." When you get rejected, your mind will scream, "You're unlovable." And when you make a mistake, your mind starts to claim, "You'll never get it right." And if you're not paying attention, you start to believe it. But here's the truth that no one has told you. You start believing your mind because it's untrained. That's the difference between the women who make it through a tough season and those who get hit and spiral out of control. Think about this for a second. How does a woman like Oprah Winfrey, abused, rejected, fired, rise above it all to build an empire? While another woman with a similar story gets stuck in survival and silence. It's not the story that decides your fate, it's how your mind meets the story. We are all walking around with these two versions of ourselves, living inside our minds. One is untrained and driven by fear. It pulls you into anxiety, shame, and spirals. The other is trained and rooted in truth. It calls you to stand, it calls you to grow, and it calls you to lead yourself. And every day, you're choosing which one gets to run the show. One says, "Do more," and the other says, "What's the point?" One is driven by fear of not being enough, the other by the courage of trying anyway. And the thing is, you don't need to obey either voice blindly. You need to train them both, because suffering comes from imbalance. Too much fear will keep you stuck, but too much force will burn you out. And mental control is learning to hear both voices without letting either one take over. It looks like saying, "I'm overwhelmed," but not quitting. It looks like hearing the voice that says, "You can't do this," and showing up anyway. It looks like choosing a walk over a spiral. It looks like a pause over a panic. And it looks like a breath over a breakdown. Now, let me be real with you. There are days my mind tells me, "You're behind. You're failing. Everyone's doing better than you." Those are days that I want to spiral, disappear, and go back to whatever numbness used to keep me safe. But every time I choose not to, I'm rewiring my mind. Every time you sit in discomfort and don't run, you're taking back your mental control. And every time you pause instead of react, you're proving to your mind that you are the leader now. Because your thoughts are not facts, your feelings are not final, and your mind is not your master, unless you let it be. So how do you start? How do you train your mind so it doesn't sabotage you with fear or drown you in trying too hard? There is this one thing that has been proven over and over again to be the biggest force in controlling your mind. Start by never complaining. Your mind will always come up with 1,000 things to complain about, but complaining is the fastest way to ruin your progress and lose your mental control. It is the one habit that will keep you stuck in the problem, not the solution. It reinforces helplessness and suffering all over again. It tells your mind, "This is happening to me," instead of, "This is something I can move through." And the more you repeat that story, the harder it is to lead your own life. But when you refuse to complain, you become unstoppable. So, the world can keep spinning and the voices in your mind can keep trying to pull you back, but you are no longer their puppet. You are the leader now. Instead of venting, you pause and ask yourself, "What can I do with this?" Or, "What's the next best step?" Instead of talking about the problem, you move toward the solution. Instead of dwelling in the complaint, you remind yourself that everything is working for you, not against you. And just like that, you'll create a mental shift that allows you to regain control over your life. It all starts with the simple situations that come up every day, moments where you feel frustrated or overwhelmed. These are your chances to reframe your thoughts and change how you respond. When you're, again, stuck doing everything alone, you'll shift from, "Why is it always me?" to, "I've got this, and I'm capable of handling whatever comes my way." When your plans fall through at the last minute, shift from "nothing ever goes right for me" to what else can I do? When you feel behind watching everyone else win, shift from, I should be further by now, to, my journey is unfolding exactly how it's meant to. This shift is about moving from reactive thinking to proactive control, and over time, it allows you to stop suffering. You stop identifying with the challenges and start finding ways to move through them. You stop arguing with your thoughts and start challenging them. And yes, you will have to disappoint your old self in order to become your highest self. Then, that's when you'll start building mental discipline. The daily practice of choosing what builds you, even when it's hard. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's choosing silence over reaction, effort over excuses, and it's choosing alignment over approval. It's your mind learning to follow your leadership, not the other way around. And this is the most powerful self-respect there is. You'll start keeping the promises you make to yourself and moving forward even when it's easier not to. And by doing this, slowly, moment by moment, you'll become her, the woman you think you are, the woman who doesn't react, the woman who doesn't suffer in silence, and most of all, the woman who doesn't complain. And from this moment forward, you don't wait for peace, you become it. If this message hits you in the gut, the next video, The Secret Key is Discipline, will help you take control of more aspects of your life.